Hello, hello. Welcome back. Whether you're joining us live or watching the replay, I thank you for being here. Today we're going back to our door tag project, and I am hoping that we will be able to get that finished up and looking great. Let me see about pulling this up on my laptop so that we will be able to see what's going on with comments if there are any. Perhaps I'll be able to take a look at them, which would be awesome. Hey, here we are. We can do that. So if you remember, we did this door tag with the honeydew green with the mini buffalo checks. We did this door tag with the word spring in the peony pink, which was just, I think, a great color combination. Now, I had asked earlier today about which ribbon to use, and Cindy Hoagland was the only one who responded, but she did indicate that she thought that the lace on burlap would be a good contrast, and I think that's a good choice. So that's what we're going to use today. Uh-oh, did I show you spring upside down? I should have put it this way. The things I see, there's a little bit of a lag. So to get this started, I do want to line up the holes here in the tops of the tags. So whatever we do, we want to make sure that these holes are lined up so that we'll be able to hang them. So I'm taking a piece of twine, just a regular old piece of twine off of this ball, and I'm going to run it through the holes to help keep them lined up. Inch it through there. It doesn't particularly like it, but by golly, we're going to make it happen by hook or by crook. Let me try that again. There we go. And I am just going to make a loop and pull the ends through it to keep it secure. And that's going to help us when it comes time to adding any ribbon that we're going to add. So now we've got to decide. I want it to show, but you can take them as far apart or as close together as you'd like. And I'm thinking maybe right there is good. I don't know. If you're on here, let me know what you think. But I'm thinking that way so that you can see the honeydew green. I know there's a couple imperfections there, but to me that's just kind of rustic, and I live in a log cabin, so that works for me. May not work for everybody, but it does work for me, at least in this piece. We were discussing last night how sometimes there's pieces that it just doesn't work with any imperfections, and so you redo it until it's just perfect. But for now, I think that's okay. We could reverse the pieces, but I really think it looks better with the spring on top and to the right. I don't know why. That's just my little quirkiness, but I think that that looks better. So we'll try it there. So I have my handy dandy glue gun all jazzed up and ready to go. So I am going to put some glue generously along this line. I hope you can see down that far. I'm not sure, absolutely certain that you can, but I put a generous amount of glue, and now I'm going to move it over, keeping everything lined up with those holes at the top, and just press it down. And I'm going to leave some pressure on there for a few seconds so that I know that it is secure. Okay. If I weren't continuing to work on this, I'd probably put something, put a paper towel down and then put something heavy on it and let it sit for a while. But I think we can hold it with our hands. My hands are kind of nasty. I was working on a project and using red couture, red Chalkology paste, and didn't have a paintbrush handy, so I was using my fingers. So my fingers look a little rough, but it's just chalk paste, so that's not too bad. So here we go. So now we have it connected together, and it's going to look like this, which I think looks pretty good. So now I'm going to use the ribbon and let's make some kind of a bow. I like the idea of some floral embellishments on this one, and I've got some off-white solo with flowers, which might look pretty on there, and I've got some baby's breath that I could add in little tufts around the edges, and I think that could be lovely. So let's give it a try. Worst thing that happens is we change it up and do it again. So first thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to fold it. Here's the folded side, and here's the raw edges, and I'm just going to cut from the folded edge upward toward the other edge, and that kind of minimizes your fraying and gives you kind of a nice professional looking edge. I don't think I want long pieces hanging down because I don't want it to get in the way of my word. This also is not a wired edge ribbon, so it's a little tougher to use, and it's not double-sided, so it is going to be a little trickier to keep going, but it can be done. I might wrestle with it a bit, but by golly, I will prevail. I say that now. We'll see what happens. But like I said, it's ribbon. Worst thing comes to worst, I'll let go of this little thing, and it goes back onto the roll, and we figure it out. See, that needs to be a little bit longer. And it's just pleating and pinching and holding it tight with my fingers. I'm not doing center loops on this one because I'm going to glue a flower in place, which is going to hide the center connection. So, and that's going to make it a little bit easier to deal with. So I've got the lace showing, and now I'm going to utilize this extra twine that we have here. I'm going to wiggle it around till it's closer to the front, and this is just kind of tough to do without an extra set of hands, but I'm going to separate the pieces of twine and set my bow, which I hope you can see this, right smack dab in the middle of it. And then I'm going to bring this up and tie it as tight as I possibly can to get it to hold the shape that I had pleated in there when I was holding it in my fingers. So now I'm going to kind of fluff it. Ah! That wasn't supposed to happen. But, you know, that's life. Goodness knows life isn't happening the way we thought it would lately. So let me tighten that up and keep a hold of these edges and try to fluff and make things pretty, and we'll figure all that out. We'll wrestle with it in a minute. And that's the thing, if you're not using a wire-edged ribbon, it really is kind of a wrestling match. But back in the day, when I learned to do this, helping my mother-in-law, I don't know if wired edge ribbons were new. I knew they were considered to be French, or if she didn't just have them in her shop because you couldn't really get them in all the colors, or what the deal was. But I learned to do this without wire edging, and so I've had a little experience doing this. Now I am folding this edge, because remember, I want to make that cut to make that nice banner looking edge. And I'm just doing that there. And now we can open that up and bring this down and start fluffing everything up, because you know I love the fluffy bows. And we will just keep fluffing and twisting and playing with this until it lays pretty much like we like it. I know you can see this little piece of twine here, but we're going to cover that up in just a minute. And we're got this other little piece here, and that's not too bad there. Gonna give it some fluffing. And I think that looks pretty good. I picked this little ivory rosebud just because I thought it was springtimey and would fit in the center. And so we'll just kind of sit it there and see how that works and if we like it. We can tuck some little pieces of baby's breath in behind it maybe. Let's see what that looks like. It ain't over till it's glued in place, and even then we could pull it apart if we had to. So let's just tuck some little sprigs in and around and see if that doesn't make it look a little fancy. That's not too bad. Kind of gives it a little bit of oomph. Maybe put this one up toward the top. Maybe not. I'm not sure I like the way that one's bent. Let me cut it down and play with it and see what we like. I don't know. Kind of trying to see what that might really look like. Not sure. I think I like it because it kind of softens it, but we'll have to just kind of play around with that at the end. But if we're going to use the solo wood flower, we are going to have to glue it in place. So I'm going to put a generous amount of glue on the back of this cute little flower. I'm so glad that these can handle the heat of the glue. Makes life a little easier. And we're going to hold it in place and push down so that it gets some adhesion and sticks good and doesn't go wandering off anywhere. Kind of want to make sure it's on there really nice and sits well with the bow. And let's put a little dab of glue and tuck some of these pieces underneath. And let's just kind of stick this under. I don't know if I like that piece. Let's see if there's another little tuft in here that we might like a little better. Maybe if we put all this together. Put these two together maybe. Oh, here we go. We'll make like a little bouquet out of it. And see how that holds. It might not, but you know, let's give it a shot. Ow, that's also very hot and not very fun to have on your fingers. So be smarter than I am, people. Don't burn your fingers. Some people say you have to suffer for your art. I have a feeling that they hadn't meant glue guns when they were saying it, but it does apply relatively well, actually. So here we go. I think we have our finished product, and I hope you can see this. I'm hoping I can get it in screen. But we have spring, and we have the little bow, and I guess it would look more or less like this when you were hanging it on the door. So when I get this hung up, I will share a picture and let you know. how it turns out. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you are enjoying these live videos, please feel free to share them with your friends. Share a link, direct share it. Let me know when you stop by, if you're stopping by on the replay, or if you have stopped by live and I just missed seeing you pop up. Want you to know that you are welcome here. I hope that you're doing well and staying safe, and that things are holding up where you are. I know it's different in different areas of the country, and I hope everyone is well and can take a little bit of time to look for some joy in life and get away from the news for a little bit. I think we're all a little overloaded with anxiety and worry right now, and it might be nice to get away from that. Anyway, talk to y'all soon. I'll be back tomorrow with another project. Not really sure what it'll be, but by golly, it'll be cute, and it'll involve some level of chalk art or embellishments or something. And I will talk to all of you soon.